Hello, SPED 2010 students. I hope everyone had a great week and a great Easter. So, this week you are taking your second exam. So, you're taking quiz two. Also, we are beginning a new module, our last module four. So, we're going to finish out weeks 11 through 14. So, really, this whole module is going to be how do we support the students? So, we're going to be looking specifically these weeks on strategies you can implement into the classroom. So, our course outcomes for this week 11 is again looking at the different disability categories that are identified by IDA and Tennessee State Department of Education and how those disabilities are unique to that student. Because if we don't know that, how can we support them with strategies? Also, we're going to look at how do we identify recommended educational strategies which are appropriate to children who have exceptionalities in the inclusive classroom. So, really, this week we're going to concentrate on what we call co teaching models and how that plays a part in not only in gen ed, but specifically special education. So, what are your objectives? Your objectives are really you're going to identify the rationale for use of research based teaching strategies, which co teaching models is one of the research based strategies that you'll be focusing on. Also, you're going to define what co teaching is and give examples of the five models that you're going to learn about this week. So, for readings resources, I've given you a few things. I've given you an article, some videos about co teaching, and also you have a RAD as well that has an article that has to do with the inclusion of making co teaching work. So, you are going to be of course, taking your quiz two, which will close this Sunday, April 7th. It opened yesterday at 8 a.m., so you should have been able to see that. Remember, it will grade the multiple choice portions, but the parts that I have to grade, specifically going in grade, that part I will have to do when I manually grade it and I have your overall grade, I will email you with that. So just email me if you have any questions. Um, you have the RAD, that's also how you're going to be assessed as well. Now, this keywords and concepts are really related to what we're doing. A lot of it has to do with that co-teaching model because that's a research-based strategy we're focusing on. Also, you're working on your co-teaching presentation. So this is a great week because it's kind of falling in line with what you should be working on. Now, remember, I've extended the date for the co-teaching presentations. So you have to complete a presentation and a lesson plan. That will be due on April 14th. So this will, if you kind of were unfamiliar with it and you read the assignment and watched the video, but you still were unsure, this is going to shed some light into the actual model itself and how you use it in the classroom. How does it support students who in an inclusive classroom may have exceptionalities? So really looking at co-teaching and what it is, defining it. What does that look like when we say collaboration in that co-teaching model? One teach, one observe is a type of co teaching. Remember, you're going to be able to identify those five types. Another one is station teaching. Then you have parallel teaching, alternative teaching, and team teaching. So you should be able to know the difference between each and in what situations would you use the different types of co teaching models. So let's go back to week 11 so we can kind of get an overview inside the course. So, the article I gave you to read, so instead of reading from your textbook, I want you to read this article called Co Teaching to Reach Every Learner. Okay, so this is about a fourth grade classroom, right? So, in this inclusive classroom, you have students who are English language learners, you have struggling students, and you have advanced learners, as well students with exceptionalities. So, you have really a broad spectrum here of students. So, they are using the co-teaching model in this classroom and this is about what they're doing. So this is a really good way to kind of dive deeper into what co-teaching is. I also gave you a video that's an overview of co-teaching itself, the different co-teaching models. I also have given you an example. If you're like me, you need to see this in real time. So these are actual videos of two teachers who work together, they're co teachers, and these are examples of each of the models we talked about, the five that you should know. So this is giving an example, shed some light into an actual classroom that's using co-teaching models. What does one teach, one observe look like? There's a video for that, station teaching. And in these videos, you'll get to see in what situations you're using these different types of co-teaching models, right? So you have alternative, parallel, team teaching. So what do these look like and how would you use them in the classroom? For your assignments, like I said, how you're going to be assessed, I just put this up here. I know it's not due this week, but I wanted to put it on your forefront to keep this in the back of your mind that that co-teaching lesson plan and presentation is due on the 14th. So just keep that in mind. That is there. You can find the co-teaching lesson plan under Module 1, Getting Started, under Assessment and Major Assignments. How you will be assessed is you will be doing a reading assignment discussion. So please make sure that you do that as well. And you do need to finish your quiz too. So for your reading assignment discussion, your RAD, remember you had to complete 4. There are some students who are still missing a couple RADs. So I will be sending an email out to you specifically if you've not completed all 3 RADs. So up to this point, you should have 3 RADs completed. I have a couple of people who already went ahead and worked ahead, which that was fine, completing all 4. But you are assessed on 4 in this course. So, this reading assignment discussion, this RAD is particularly talking about co teaching models and how you make it work in an inclusive classroom. Now, remember, whenever you do RADs, you have that discussion with those 3 prompts. So, they're the same 3 prompts, it's just that the content will be different because this week we're talking about co teaching models. Also, I wanted to be able to gauge your understanding and see kind of where you were, and I want you to have feedback to how well you feel, how well you're doing, and how you feel about co-teaching models. So I went ahead and prepared a Nearpod quiz, and this again is just to give you feedback to see how you're doing with the content. Again, you'll see the link here to the quiz too. It will close April the 7th. Remember, you have 2 attempts, so please email me once you have taken your first attempt to see if you would like to use your second attempt or not. Okay, and remember, I will take the best average just like I did the first time that you took the quiz. But that's what we're doing this week, guys. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Another quick note, I wanted to remind you that if you've not submitted your journals, please do that. There was a little mishap. There's a glitch. It wasn't showing your journals that you submitted, or most of them, and then it was all of a sudden showing them. So they're in there. If you have not completed your hours and you're finishing that up, I have spoken to a couple people. Please be sure to do that. You also need to submit your journal. At start, if you have submitted your journal, you need to start working on your written analysis. So if you have questions about that, please feel free to reach out. Again, you're going to find that under Module 1 Service Learning. So you will have to complete that written analysis. That's your reflection paper for the whole service learning project. All right, guys, I hope you have a fabulous week and reach out if you need anything or have questions. I'm here available to meet on Teams or Zoom if you need to, or in person. Until next time, guys, take care.